What if I told you that you could buy a robot that could run your entire coffee shop business for you? Or how about a robot that can dance, rave, and navigate complex terrain like it's nothing? Still no? Then what would you say to this cute Disney robot that behaves just like a pet cat or dog? Well, these are just the tip of the iceberg. In this video, we'll be delving into the coolest AI inventions you probably haven't seen before. The last one will shock you. Did you know that for $16,000, you can buy your very own Ravebot? So, if you're a big fan of rave parties, this robot would blend in perfectly. The robot's name is G1, and the company behind it is Unitree. They unveiled the leaping and jumping robot about 3 months ago with a promo video right before they started mass-producing the G1. The G1 is the mass production model that will be available for purchase soon. The robot can climb stairs and navigate around the environment on its own. And it doesn't even fall when you kick it. Although I don't know if I would advise anyone kicking a robot that can run. If something goes wrong, you don't want an army of robots chasing you for what you did to one of their ancestors. But for now, the robot is fairly small, standing at 4 feet 4 inches tall. To compare, Elon Musk's Optimus bot is almost 6 feet tall. Unitree designed the robot smaller so it wouldn't intimidate people. On top of that, the robot weighs only 80 pounds, which is much lighter than any of the humanoid robots currently in development. Not only is this better for shipping and manufacturing, but it's also better in case there's a robot uprising, and these things become sentient and seek revenge for how Unitree researchers have been treating them so far. In addition, the robot can learn using simulations or by observation. So far, not only is G1 able to maneuver around complex terrain and dance, but it can also wield tools, crush nuts with its fists, and open a Coke bottle, although not very graciously. The G1 can also run at a speed of 4.4 miles per hour, which is slightly slower than its predecessor, the H1, which could smash that like button, just like you should if you haven't done so already. But no, in all seriousness, the predecessor could move at a speed of 7.4 miles per hour. Speaking of moving, a physically challenged lady from Vancouver forever changed her life when she put on the ZoMotion. The device was unveiled at the Alberta Robotics Expo a few months ago. The ZoMotion gave back her ability to walk again. The company designing these ZoMotion skeletons is hoping people will never again have to hear the phrase, "You will never be able to walk again." That's what the doctors told Chloe in 2015 when she suffered a spinal injury. But 9 years later, she proved the doctors wrong. Today, she can turn, squat, go up and down stairs, dance, and do almost everything she could before the injury. The ZoMotion suit takes all human motion and translates it into a device that helps people walk again. The goal is to build more suits like ZoMotion that help physically disabled people move freely and without assistance. Speaking of no assistance, meet Adam. Adam was unveiled at CES earlier this year, and this robot is trying to forever change the barista world. So, how would you like a cup of Robo Joe? All kidding aside, Adam makes really good coffee. But coffee is just the tip of the iceberg. Adam can make almost any beverage while also interacting with customers and taking in new orders. If Adam spills something on the counter, he's able to clean up after himself. And he can even prepare some fairly decent food. Adam is to the restaurant industry what ChatGPT is to the writing industry. The robot relies on facial recognition software, many cameras, highly advanced robotic arms, and, of course, artificial intelligence. When Adam was unveiled, people got to interact with him straight from a food truck, making entrepreneurs believe Adam could be a business all by himself. But before you go off to buy one, I should tell you that he goes for around $200,000 per unit. Speaking of robots in the restaurant, did you know that Adam has a sister? Her name's Bellot, and she's from China. Unlike Adam, Bellot is a much simpler robot. She can only deliver food to customers. But that's very important during a time when restaurants struggle to hire enough staff. Bellot is not cheap. She's sold for $16,000 and shipped directly from China, and restaurant owners in New York love her. They say that even though she's not as good as real humans, she's actually cheaper in the long run. And while this robot is bringing food to people, Disney is trying to move people with the flick of the wrist. This is the biggest issue with VR. While some companies are trying to solve the problem of motionless running, Disney came up with a solution. It's called HolTile, and it's about to revolutionize the AR space. Instead of placing people on a treadmill and allowing them to move, Disney's HolTile made a multi-directional treadmill. It's made up of small rotating discs that always move you to the center of the treadmill, so stuff like this doesn't happen. The beautiful thing about HolTile is that it can be moved with a joystick, which means if you sit on a chair, you can move yourself around using a handheld controller. And if you thought that was cool, then what if we told you that you can control a box placed on the HolTile with the flick of your wrist? By using spatial sensors, your hand movement is translated as a command, so the HolTile moves the box back and forth, left or right, depending on your command. It's basically like using the Force, but with computers. What if we told you that this robot is considered obsolete by Disney? This robotic system capable of performing dangerous stunts is being replaced by smaller, more complex, lifelike robot pets. These bipedal robots incorporate all of the latest advancements in robotics, along with those authentic movements of secondary Disney characters like strutting, prancing, tromping, shuffling, meandering, and sneaking. Using modular hardware, reinforced learning, and procedural animation, Disney was able to build robots that behave just like their animated counterparts. Plus, they can navigate a complex terrain without a problem. Speaking of advanced robots, remember the Atlas robot that could do flips, run across dangerous terrain, and carry construction materials across a field? You do? Well, he's dead. This is the new Atlas that's bound to replace him. Boston Dynamics took everything they learned from the original Atlas and incorporated it into the new robot with improved mobility. But we haven't heard anything from Boston Dynamics. But recently, they showed Atlas placing trays of documents from one slot into another, all on its own. Can you hear the robots coming for our jobs? Because I sure can, and so can Zuckerberg. These are Meta's Orion glasses, unlike Apple's Vision Pro, which is too bulky, too big, and according to some, a waste of $3,500. These AR glasses are very small, and they add holograms over everyday items that don't move while you move your eyes. Mark Zuckerberg called them the most advanced glasses the world has ever seen. They weigh less than 3 ounces, they have no wires, and no bulky headsets. You just put them on your head, strap on the wristband that reads "Your hand gestures," and you're ready to go. They're sharp enough to pick up details, bright enough to allow you to see at night, and large enough to display a full cinema screen. So, whether you like watching a movie or you need multiple screens when you work, these AR glasses will forever change the world around us, but not as much as our next AI product. Smello Vision scientists at Osmo AI have found a way to digitize smell. They used AI to turn any smell into a stream of numbers, which can later be materialized using a computer. For example, if you take a plum, mash it up, and put it in a vial, the air that collects above the mashed plum is filled with the essence of the plum. Then, the researchers took that plum vial and placed it inside a machine that could extract the aromatic air. By analyzing the molecules in the air one by one, they were able to take the formula and print it. If everything is done correctly, then when they reprint the code, they will have to reproduce the scent of a freshly cut plum. This way, Osmo AI has just given computers a new sense, which they've been able to recreate and replicate in a lab. This could open a plethora of possibilities, from the controversial idea of inventing Smello Vision to recreating the smell of food without the need for food. By giving computers the sense of smell, Osmo AI scientists have just turned the air around them into data. Here's another video AI enthusiasts loved watching. This is AI Exposed, demystifying the world of artificial intelligence, one video at a time.